I think I can speak for most men when I say we want to have better sex. And for the sake of our partner, we may need to have better sex, fellas. Because no one likes it when you bring a wet noodle to a barbecue party. Write that down. The issue is that over-the-counter erection pills contain unregulated chemicals, suggest unsafe doses, and include the risk of several other health problems. And who wants that? It's like those drug prescription ads where everybody's like sitting there playing volleyball at the beach, but they're dying of herpes. Not cool. That's why we partnered with our friends over at Joy Mode. Whether you're looking to spice up your intimate moments or increase your confidence in the bedroom, Joy Mode makes all natural and science-backed supplements dedicated to helping men perform better across their core functions. Oh, yeah. The trademark product, the sexual performance booster, is every man's solution for increased blood flow down below, firmness, stamina, and performance of your favorite friend. It's like a pre-workout, but for your buddy down below. And let me tell you, it works. And the best part, the product is totally safe. All ingredients have been assessed in peer-reviewed journals. All ingredients have been studied and researched in humans. It comes in a palm-sized little packet, like your favorite electrolyte powder. Just simply mix one of these bad boys right in with 6 to 8 ounces of water, 45 minutes before sexual activity, and watch the magic unfold. Literally. Like, you know when you start blowing up an inflatable castle? It's sort of like that, but down below. But it's time to redefine your intimacy and go to usejoymode.com for 20% off with promo code FRATCHAT. Oh, yeah, that's 20% off and free shipping with promo code FRATCHAT at usejoymode.com. Ingredients with integrity, it's Joy Mode, baby. And we are recording, Mr. Mo.
I like how you chugged that orange juice out of the bottle.
That's right.
It's very impressive.
Because I've been here long enough in America to try to be good old-fashioned white American trash. Woohoo! Your mouth,
you say you didn't want to waste a cup, but I feel like I've only seen you drink out of McDonald's cups. I didn't know you had cups.
that's what I call my
You have glassware?
Those are the glassware is just the Burger King cups. That's all it is. It's the fancy one. Get him the one with the crown on it. That's the one. And get him one of them real straws, not paper kind.
When I hear white trash, I think barefoot and Kool-Aid mustaches.
A Kool-Aid mustache. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Because white trash loves Kool-Aid.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, I could consider myself more of a Mountain Dew or Sprite white trash person. I feel like that would be my...
Mountain Dew's a good one.
That's a good one. I feel like that would be my white trashness of choice. Would be some Mountain Dew. Diabetes. Definitely diabetes. I call it diabetes. Like that. Diabetes.
I feel like a lot of white trash, I feel like they never wear shoes. They're always running around the street with no shoes on.
Well, that would be exactly what I was about to say next. I would never wear shoes, and I would certainly be missing a foot, though, because of the diabetes, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm always, like, talk about the foot like I lost it in the war or something, but everybody would know it's just the diabetes, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to do this in 3, 2, squeeze my nuts, 1. What are you doing?
Testes in my mouth.
Get on the ground, you fucking pledge.
Ew.
Welcome to the greatest podcast experience of your life. This is the Frat Chat Podcast.
All young men like 3 things. Food, booze, pussy.
Featuring Carlos Garcia and Chris.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the Frat Chat Podcast. I'm Carlos Garcia with Chris with a clean nose, Simo Moore. How's it going, Mr. Mo?
What's up, man? I still have a freaking sinus infection. It's been like a month. Man, this new nose is really giving me some trouble.
I was going to say, can you get some kind of a refund on that thing? Can you get a
I wanted
discount
my
on the
old
next
nose
one?
back.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying. Ugh. Well, you mean not the last nose. I'm thinking how many windows. It's like, when you upgrade, you want to go back to a saved computer file of your phone. It says which version, which you want. It shows you a bunch of dates. It's like, how far back do you want to go in this? Because there's some years you might not want to go.
I will never forget when they told me to do some research and bring in photos of the noses that I like. And so I brought in like a catalog of all these like beautiful schnozzes. And they looked at me and they were like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I think these are all nice." And they were like, "Some of these aren't even your ethnicity. Like, these are impossible." It's like, "Oh, okay."
Sir, this is Michael Jackson post 48 surgeries. This is not. And this one right here is a picture of George Jetson's wife. That is a cartoon, sir. Not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said any nose, to be fair.
Correct.
That's what they get. They should have been more specific, in my opinion. Like, you tell me any nose, I'm going to bring you any nose.
So what you're saying is that I can't have Patty Mayonnaise's nose. Okay. That was clear.
No, sir, but we can give you Doug's if you want that.
I had Doug's. That's why I got a nose job. I had Doug's nose.
Simon knows all too well. Yeah, they gave Doug like an unfair schnauzer. That thing was huge, especially for his like teeny tiny little hairs. It's like, boy, they were doing my boy dirty. If you're a Doug fan,
did he have a crew cut?
Whew. Yeah, it was like a little crew cut, but they only drew it with like little curly, like little strands of hair. So he almost looks bald. They really made him suffer through a lot to get Patty Mayonnaise. So if you think about it, boys, Doug is a story of how every ugly kid can get the girl of their dreams. Gotta watch it and deal with some jackasses going coo at you. It's just life. So go back to
Doug.
He
wore his underpants over his shorts and put on a belt, and he was Quail Man, aka early signs of schizophrenia.
To be fair, I think every guy has put their underpants over their shorts or their pants at one point or another as a kid and be like, "I'm Superman," No, just me.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
It's weird. There was a song. Ooh, I'm gonna have to schedule another therapy appointment. Julie, call my therapist.
Were they your underwear or was it mom's underwear? Was it mommy's panties?
Let's move on. Anyways, I got a story. Speaking of mommy issues, actually, this is a very fantastic segue that we didn't even mean to do here at the Frat Chat Podcast, because that's how much of a professional we are. But got a pretty interesting news story for you, Mr. Mo. So hit it! Rapper Sean Kingston was arrested in California on fraud charges this past Thursday, so literally a couple days ago, after several hours after a SWAT team raided his rented mansion in South Florida and seized numerous items. The Broward County Sheriff's Office reported that Kingston was arrested without incident on a Florida warrant near Fort Irwin, an Army base about 150 miles northeast of L.A. Earlier in the day, though, which makes the story crazy, Broward detectives also arrested his 61-year-old mother, Janice Turner, during the raid of the rapper's 14,000 square foot home in Southwest Ranches, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale that hosts many celebrities, including the great one, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Miami Dolphins' fucking fastest man alive, Tyreek Hill. The sheriff's office is citing an ongoing investigation, has not really released the details of the charges. However, reporters observed authorities filling a van with goods from the mansion, which was surrounded by luxury sports cars. So Sean Kingston and his mama arrested on fraud and theft charges. Ooh.
I
You
don't
remember
even
Sean
know who
Kingston,
he
right?
is. I think he had a song like back in the day.
Beautiful girl. No, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no. I'm just so suicidal
oh, that.
because I got
So
arrested
he's
with my mom.
he's still relevant. So he's like a
Well,
one-hit wonder.
he's back. I have to say, this is every musician like, and this is only for music, and like Robert Downey Jr. But he had to work on himself a lot to get here. With musicians, for some reason, when they get arrested, they come out more popular than they were in. Depending on what they do, obviously. If you're R. Kelly, no hope for you, buddy. You're beat. You're done, buddy.
You know who? No, P. Diddy
But
isn't looking too good right now in the tabloids either.
Oh yeah, he's beat. He's also beat. Yeah, peeing
By
on
the way,
people
my
and beating up women.
microphone has a delay today. It's so bizarre. I have a delay. I'm not sure why.
Oh, you should go on your hotspot. I think because you're cutting out a little bit too.
Is that what it is? I should go my
I think your
hotspot?
internet's.
Okay, let me try
Yeah, I
that.
think so. Put on your hotspots. And while Simo puts on his hotspots, I'm gonna do my hot dance. Monkeys are some hot stuff. It's some hot stuff. It's some hot stuff. I don't know the words to the song, but it goes like hot stuff. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Now his face is frozen. And now his face is gone, which means this is a one-man show. And I can do everything that I've always wanted to do. Like roast Simo. Oh, he's back. There he is.
Is it better?
Oh, he's so crisp now. Look at him,
Oh,
folks.
good. Oh, good. You saw it all over. Let me talk about my nose some more. I don't think our listeners hear me complain about my nose job enough.
No, but the ones watching us on YouTube are watching you do all that. So, Anyways, Sean Kingston in jail, about to be squeezing nuts.
What are those nuts you keep playing with?
This is they're actually stress balls, literally.
They're two stress balls, or they're conjoined?
They're connected. They're connected.
No,
but it's for a nut company.
I've seen conjoined twins that had their heads pressed together like that forever.
No, it's during the nut cracks. This was when I did the Burbank Comedy Festival. They're one of the sponsors, and not gonna lie, delicious. A little pricey though. I said them nuts. Should lower the prices down a little bit, and I would be a frequent customer because they have these like when you get like the sweet nuts and the street from like the roasted honey nuts and shit. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. They have like cashews, they have walnuts, they have all kinds of shit. It's like, and they have like sweet and spicy ones. They have just sweet ones. They a lot of good stuff. But like I said, this is just me. I'm not trying to be a jerk here. Them nuts. I know people got to make their money, but
I've never paid for nuts. Ever.
No, he usually gets them for free.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Every time. Never seen Simo pay for nuts.
I don't pay for nuts, and I don't pay for drugs.
That's right. That's right. It's a
I
good
also
rule.
don't do drugs.
But he does do nuts. Can you? No, never mind. Let's just move on. Anyways, so what do you think of this Sean Kingston situation? It's weird that it's him and his mom, but I do wonder what they did precisely.
I think that I forgot who Sean Kingston was. And if I don't know who he is, then clearly you don't know who his mom is. So part of me just doesn't care that much, I guess, because they're like irrelevant people.
Oh God. And that was Chris Moore's expert opinion on the news going around the world, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Sean Kingston, I hope you're not too suicidal when you drop the soap in jail. I hope it's all bullshit, because who knows, but more information will come out about this, and we'll let you know exactly what he did, because fraud and theft, kind of vague. The guy had a pretty hit single song, so who knows? I have a feeling it's gonna be like embezzlement.
I think he partnered with Justin Bieber on a song, like Eeny Meeny something.
Oh, probably.
I don't know.
I can see that. It was.
I'm kind of embarrassed that I know anything about Justin Bieber, to be honest.
I will say what you want about the Biebs, and I was one of the ones that hated him the most back in the day, especially when he had that stupid haircut. Now he looks like your crackhead uncle who you tell to chill out with the N-words at a barbecue, with all the tats. But he does have some bangers. There's a couple good songs of his that I like. So, I can't hate on his tunes. Guy's very talented.
So I have a question. So didn't Usher discover Justin Bieber?
That's right.
Didn't P. Diddy discover Usher?
I don't like where you're going with this, but
do we think
so?
Bieber is a victim of P. Diddy?
Oh no. I don't mean, I feel like by the point that Justin Bieber would have been discovered, Diddy would have been so far removed doing other things.
I just want to know if Justin Bieber ever snorted coke off of P. Diddy's penis. I think he probably has.
No, I don't think so. Maybe. Who knows? But I don't think so. I feel like he probably has snorted coke of a model's butt, though. I will give him that. He's lived a life, especially at a young age, And that's about as America as you can get for a Canadian. So good for him. On this here Memorial Day weekend, that's all I can tell you, because even sexy Barack Obama, who's right here, hello America, has a little message for you guys. America, this here Memorial Day weekend is the weekend to snort cocaine off models' butts. That's what me and Michelle are doing, America. So drop the kids off, get a little weird, do a little Molly, snort cocaine off that model's butt. And I promise you, America, you'll be happy you did. My name is Barack Obama, and I approve of this message. Yay! Love you, Barry. Love you. Is it me, or does buying a sex pill at a gas station feel super awkward? You're like walking around and you don't know what to get. The guy's definitely looking at you, judging you with every step. It's super weird. Plus, then we got to talk efficacy. Does it really work? Because my buddy once bought a condom from a gas station, and now he has 3 kids, so you tell me. So it's good to know that Jomoid is not only backed by its users, it's backed by science, people, which goes to show that science can be sexy sometimes. Oh, yeah. Now, let me ask you something. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your performance in the bedroom, Why not perform even better? Usain Bolt was the fastest man in the world, and he still wanted to run faster. So why not be an Olympic gold medalist in the bedroom, fellas? Because that's where Joy Mode comes in. Joy Mode's sexual performance booster is like a pre-workout, but for sex. It's designed to support erection quality, firmness, and sex drives. And it contains clinically supported doses of ingredients like arginine nitrate, L-citrulline, Panax ginseng, and vitamin C, which is going to make your boy down below stronger than ever. Oh, yeah. Plus, not only is this the only supplement you'll need in the bedroom, it also supports blood vessel support, cardiovascular and heart health, athletic performance, blood pressure, and general erection function. Plus, here are the game changers. All ingredients have been assessed in peer-reviewed journals, and all ingredients have been studied and researched in humans, so you know it works. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll never go back to over-the-counter drugs after trying Joy Mode. And psst, it's small enough to fit in your wallet and take it with you on the go. It's the perfect travel companion, and it's a powder, so you don't need to worry about it getting crushed in there. So all you gotta do, fellas, is just go to usejoymode.com and get 20% off with the promo code FRATCHAT at checkout. That's 20% off and free shipping with promo code FRATCHAT at usejoymode.com. Great sex solved naturally. Oh, yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
Memorial Day plans?
Me and Julie might go to the pool tomorrow.
What pool?
And, somewhere in her parents' town. And that's about it. I have a show tonight. And then Monday, I think Monday I have to have a clean day because my apartment is a wreck. I've been not home a lot and just, you know how things get when you can't.
I can smell it from here.
No, that's just my ass.
Oh, okay. I can smell that too. It smells like desperation and poverty.
And a little bit of Axe body spray.
A little bit of Axe body spray.
Just a little, just lift your legs up. And
ooh, oh, yikes.
It's that time of year. It starts getting hotter outside. Global warming has been particularly active this spring here in New York City in these last few days. So it's been closing in on 90. And that phenomenon starts coming in when out of the monsters comes swamp butt. Run away!
Speaking of swamp butt, I have to go to the bathroom so bad. I gotta pee so bad. I should have done this on the call.
God.
But
You are the worst professional. What are you doing? Go pee.
I have to go so bad. I'll be right back.
Oh my God. Now he goes to pee, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. And he leaves behind that fucking little doll that he has that is a penis. That is a penis staring back at me. And that is what I'm left with. A goddamn silent penis. Which, to be honest, it's kind of a step up from SEMA. So. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Now I'm being silent. But I could roast Simo. Like, Simo's so gay, his asshole is now an innie. You know? He plays with it too much. Kind of a problem. Simo went to take an eye test, right? But he can't read, so he failed it. But he can see very well. He just can't read. What's that letter, doctor? I don't know. I can't see. No, he's just stupid. He's not blind. Yeah, he said he's gonna pee. I think that sounds like explosive diarrhea is going on over there, you guys, because it's taking a little longer than a pee would take. But that's just me. Oh Lord. Last time Simo was in the bathroom this long, George Michael got arrested. Google it. Oh god. I knew he was lying, but his nose definitely can't get any bigger. So
I was clenching. And I kept dancing, and every time I was dancing, I feel like my microphone was shaking. Ooh, I feel so much better. I broke the seal. I went to the gym. I did a spin class, and I sweat so much. I was drinking so much water, and then afterwards, I worked out, and I drank a lot of water, and then I drank a protein shake, and I was fine. And I sat down, and I was like, "Oh my god, I broke the seal."
Well, that was totally unprofessional, but
I'm
it
sorry.
is what
You
we
gotta
do.
go. You gotta go. Our listeners understand.
That's why I, as a professional, am constantly wearing an adult diaper
Hmm.
while we record the podcast because I prioritize the people. See, we've been talking now for about 20 minutes, and I've gone like 3 times. Haven't even
Really?
had to move. 1 and 2. You didn't even notice. I didn't even stop doing my Sean Kingston news story, and I squeezed out a nice one. So
Oh,
it's called being a professional, you guys. And I got it from that NASA lady that decided to drive cross country. You know what I mean? To kill her boyfriend's cheating girlfriend or whatever, and she didn't want to make any stops, so people didn't see her. So she wore a diaper so she could not stop.
is that true?
Yeah, true story. Google this. So I figured if a NASA astronaut thought of this idea, who am I to let it go? By the wayside. It's a good idea. Do a lot of things with wearing a diaper.
Someone told me the other day that when you break the seal when you're drinking, that it's not that you have to go, is that your like impulse to pee is inebriated. Like you're like like you have no like
Like
penis inhibitions.
it's drunk too. Your dick gets drunk.
Like it's
It's like, fuck it. I'll be a little hoe and squirt a little more.
yeah.
Usually it's a reserve penis. Like, I'm going to hold in all my liquids. I am a lady, even though I talk like this.
Like
I'm a penis.
I guess the muscle that controls like when you have to pee is like just too relaxed.
Also, I mean, there is a lot of water and like beer. So if if you drink like 6 beers, that's a lot of water that you're actually even drinking. Especially if you're having light beer, Miller Lights, all that shit. A lot of water in it. If you're drinking the heavy stuff, it actually dehydrates you some. So you got to watch out. Make sure you drink a lot of water. But if you're like me, where you're drinking alcohol and you're also drinking like water throughout the night, so I'll still be hungover the next day, but I'm not as hungover. You're gonna be peeing a lot. That's a lot of liquid for your body to process. So it makes sense. I don't know.
What
I feel like
alcohol makes you the most hungover?
I think wine does because there's a lot of sugar in it. But
Oh.
also, like, I love drinking my rum and cokes, but all the caffeine you'd think would help a headache, but I think all the soda plus the rum, which like I said dehydrates you. Soda also dehydrates you, plus the sugar from soda. The next day, I am definitely beat up, especially because like when we go out drinking, it's very rare that it's a 1 or 2 night. It's like heavy drinking. So after like 10 rum and cokes the next day, things are not fun. But anywho, Mr. Mo, I believe it's time for the segment
Mm-hmm.
that people seem to still know and love. Last week we used it to roast the one and only Harrison Butker.
Who?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And this week we'll take it back to the passive aggressive side because last week we just tore him a new asshole. That was just aggressive. That was not passive aggressive. This week we take it back to its roots. It's comedians being passive aggressive with each other for 60 seconds. And let me get my trusty alarm clock. 60-second timer. Bam. There it is. Gotta love your 60-second timer. You're always ready. And you ready, Mr. Mo?
I'm ready.
And we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. And I'm just so happy about this timer. It's so reliable. It doesn't cut out in the middle or take a bathroom break in the middle of recording. You know, what a great timer. It's
Yeah,
so
'cause
good.
timers don't pee, idiot. By the way, you
Yeah.
had a really great set this weekend. You know what my favorite part was?
Go on.
The end.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I enjoy that. Unlike your set, which I didn't enjoy very much. You know, it's like it was fine. I
You
guess.
must not have been listening, but I was listening when you mentioned going to the pool on Monday. That sounds fun. Do you have your t-shirt ready for the pool?
I have 2 T-shirts ready for the pool. So thank you very much. And I see you're working out a lot. Is it so you don't look as healthy this weekend? Like, take your off. You know, people are like, ew. Answer that.
I've lost 5 pounds.
And that was comedians being passive aggressive with each other.
The
for
next person
60
calls me
seconds.
healthy is getting
It's such a good one. Oh, it's so passive aggressive. It's just so healthy. I hate it.
I feel like it should be followed up by bless his heart. So it's looking so healthy these days, bless his heart.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma used to always say, it's not nice to say, but, and I'd be like, oh, this is gonna be good.
But there's always a but.
What I have a relative that was driving buses, and my grandma said it's not nice to say, but she finally found a job where she can sit on her ass all day. I said, ooh.
Hey, that guy's a boss. Need to bring him on the show. That's burn. Love it. Anyways, Mr. Mo, it is time for us to get to it because, Mr. Mo, this week we're going to take the viewers back, our listeners, wherever you are. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts, or you're watching us live right now on YouTube, we're going to give you something that you're going to enjoy. We're going to put our writers' minds to use, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot of good movies out there that have endings that fucking suck, and they kind of make the movie not as good. You know what I mean? So this is where we come in. We're going to go back and reimagine some shitty endings to some pretty damn good movies, and we're gonna fix them for you. We're gonna make you finally get to enjoy them, finally get some good feelings out of this. This is what we do here at the Frat Chat Podcast. So this week, enjoy movie endings that suck and how we'd fix them here at the Frat Chat Podcast. Brought to you by Joy Moon. Oh yeah. It's Memorial Day weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So take some joy more into your bedroom. 45 minutes before sexy time, pour some of this babies into your drink. Oh, it's going to make you feel so good down there. You and your lady, or your boy, or your lady and your boy, whatever you're into, this beautiful Memorial Day weekend can have some sexy time and feel good. Oh, yeah. So get some Joy Mo. Go to usejoymo.com/fatchat. Save 20% off and get that sexy from regular Obama to sexy Barack Obama. Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
I like Joy Mode, just for the record. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't really, embrace their sponsorship, but yo, Joymo's been giving me some good dick.
There's a reason why we keep the joint mode around, ladies and gentlemen. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good.
Thanks,
So use
Joymo's.
it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Mr. Mo, do you wanna get us started? Or do you want me to?
Sure. Okay, so first and foremost, I just want the listeners to know that this, of all the topics we've ever had in the history of this podcast, which is like 5 years, this was the hardest one for me because I don't watch a lot of movies. So I really
Yeah.
struggled.
Unless you're on his cell phone, and it involves like twins and people getting stuck on stuff. They're like,
Yeah.
stepbrother, what are you doing here? you know,
Yeah. A lot of like
watch a lot of those.
massage parlors.
The guy in the jail cell. Yeah, totally. Massage parlors. Those are good ones. A
Yeah.
lot of oil,
A lot of like, oh, I don't have money to pay for this pizza delivery, but you know what I can do is so anyway, my
It's more
first
like
one, it's a beautiful movie, but I feel like the target audience is so young and they really wrecked the youth. They like really like wrecked the youth with the movie A Walk to Remember.
oh yeah.
It wrecked
Oh
me.
yeah.
It's
That's a tearjerker.
as a beautiful and sweet Mandy Moore dies of cancer.
And she really played that well. I'm not gonna lie. And knowing people who passed to cancer and shit, it was like, ooh, she really, and going back and seeing what she was like, you really like, damn, she did a good job.
And
Too
like
good of a job. Damn it.
her father in the movie had already lost his wife. So Mandy Moore, her character, her mom had died. Um so I thought a different ending might be that she goes in remission and gets to fulfill her dreams. And it's not fair that her father lost both his wife and his daughter. It's just and like there's a moment where the male lead, it's like I think they're on a pier and he's asking her about like her dreams and aspirations. She's like, well, unfortunately, I'm not really responding well to my like medication. I have leukemia, yada yada. And I thought to myself, like, this would be a wonderful opportunity for the writers to let her beat her cancer to like fulfill like a dream. You know what I mean? Like, come
Yeah.
on, give us a little bit of hope here. Ugh.
To play third base for the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
You go, Mandy.
So
Charge.
it's not an awful movie by any means. It's just what a attack to my emotions.
Yeah, depressing as shit
Oh
too.
my
Like
god.
you watch that kind of movie. Like for example, at this point, it's not a spoiler because it's been out for at least 10 years. There's one of the Rocky Balboa movies, one of the Creed movies. I think it's Creed 2. The old Sylvester Stallone's Rocky character gets cancer. He gets actually leukemia, I believe. And his wife in the series has died of cancer at this point, and he's seen her treatments and shit. So, he's like, I don't want to do this. I already seen what it does to a person. I'm just gonna take my time and die. But they convince him to go through the treatments, and he does. And they make it through you know, like a badass Rocky montage while Creed is training his boxing. Rocky's doing his treatments, and god damn it, Sylvester Stallone's Rock kicks cancer's ass. And I watched that shit sitting with my dad, who at the time was going to go in fucking chemo treatment or leukemia treatments that later involved chemo. And it was like inspiring and motivating to him, especially because him and Sylvester Stallone were the same age. So I feel like you could have had such an inspiring thing for viewers, but instead they went for the twist that no one would see coming. And it's like, you know what? Let's just ruin everybody's day. And I didn't know that movie was going to be that hard either. I would thought it was going to be like a sweet little love movie about Mandy Moore. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a cute little movie. She's sick, but it's like, it won't be that.
I
And then I
wanted
watched
her
it.
to beat cancer, go to college, be super successful, come back to the high school reunion, and show all those jackasses what she's begun, what she's become. So I just
Yeah.
felt like the antagonists in the movie didn't get enough shit served to them. You know what I mean? I don't
It's
know.
crazy that the bullies were like making fun of her though for having like cancer. Like
Horrible.
that's so fucked up. I don't think there's a single high school, and I've seen some fucked up high schoolers where it would be cool to like rip on the cancer kid. Like I'm just saying, ha ha, you have cancer. Like that was bad.
You know, I saw this TikTok video of this parent, this young boy who had dreadlocks, and this young boy was in trouble at school for making fun of a child that has cancer. So his father shaved the dreadlocks off the
I
kid
saw that.
as a punishment. He was like, "You're not gonna make fun of the little kids that have cancer. It's inappropriate, and for that, your punishment
Fuck
is
yeah,
to shave your
it's
head
good dad.
so you can be bald, just like the kid you made fun of." And
That's a good dad.
I thought, wow, that's a phenomenal punishment. I think that's fair.
Fuck
I
yeah.
would do that.
Fuck yeah. Absolutely. You want to fucking be a little prick, especially because the thing about cancer is it can happen to anybody. So you never know. You're lucky as shit. That kid is lucky as shit that he gets to be in a position where he's the one being an asshole instead of the one having to have treatments. So yeah, that's a good dad. That will teach your kid to be a prick, especially like you motherfuckers. People are jerks. Anywho, yeah, I agree with you. That ending could have been less of a like goddamn. It could have been less of a heart crusher, especially because now you know, like, what does the dad do after all this happens to him? He probably fucking kills himself. Like this
my
just
God.
leaves a very like sad life. The guy who was Mandy Moore's love interest, he's gonna be traumatized for life. This town is like ruined. It's not like a big town. All the people that used to make fun of her probably feel like shit now. You know, everybody's gonna be depressed as shit. So
He went to college and then got accepted to medical school, presumably to get a career in oncology, I guess. But I just thought to myself, like, this is too heavy for high school kids and this poor father. And, you know, the intended audience is high school kids. They're young. Like, this
it
is
was high school kids, yeah, like 16-year-olds.
through enough peer
I got
pressure,
suckered into
bullying.
watching it by my high school girlfriend. She was like, she rented it and she really wanted to watch it. So yeah, sure, I'll watch it. And like I said, I expected myself, oh, this is gonna be a fucking like Mandy Moore movie, like a little rom com or whatever. She's just, and then I fucking watched this shit and it like broke my goddamn heart. I was like trying to be tougher on her. It was like, oh yeah, no,
It's
it's
an
not that
intense
sad.
movie.
So I'm like, it's not cool, dude. Not cool at all. So yeah, Walk to Remember. You wrecked us.
You wrecked
You
us.
wrecked us.
Mm-mm-mm.
Anywho, I'm moving on to my next one. And this one is to some point of the movie, to a certain point, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. To a certain point. You got Mel Gibson before he was like yelling about the Jews drunkenly in public and shit.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
You got Joaquin Phoenix, who's a goddamn Oscar winner and a legend. Yeah, Mel Gibson won an Oscar too. They're both Oscar winners. You got M. Night Shyamalan, who at this point was fucking batting 100 with his movies. Great shit. It's science. You got aliens. You got creepy shit. You got everything going on. And then all of a sudden, you have this fucking ending where the aliens have everybody surrounded. It looks like everybody's going to die. And it turns out that the aliens are deathly allergic to water. Water. They have all this technology. They, invade this planet using said technology. And they decide, having a deathly allergic reaction to water, that they're going to invade a planet that is 2/3 water.
Good point.
Why would they invade a planet that is 2/3 water? That's like Simo wanting to meet a guy in a planet that's 2/3 vaginas. Like, that's not going to happen. You're not, like, come on. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Or I can't eat peanut butter. Let me move to a country that's 2/3 peanut butter.
I can't have peanut butter.
Mm-hmm. Like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? It makes no sense. I feel like M. Night maybe wrote a fuck ton, like it was like a 4-hour movie, and then they got to the big wigs somewhere, and they're like, all right, I love it up to this point, but you got to do the ending in like 8 minutes. You got to wrap this shit up, dude. We don't have time for this. So then he just went back and like, water, that's the secret, and boom. But it's stupid. I would say you take away the stupid water twist. Then you got the family. As we know, the aliens are trying to break into their house. The one like touched the little kid, and he had an asthma attack, and they didn't have his inhaler, so they have to wait till daytime to come out and get the fucking thing. But the family makes it through the night. They go up to look for the inhaler, and they find the alien, just like in the real movie. And when Mao gets told to swing away, that's how he manages to kill the alien. But it was a big fight. They barely kill that thing. So they go outside. They stick the kid with the inhaler, or whatever the fuck it is that they stuck him with, the adrenaline, whatever Mel Gibson did to him, and they rescue him just like the real movie. However, when they go to get in their car and they look to drive off into the hospital, they notice a little like movement in the cornfields, just like when the aliens were there before. And that's when they realize that like their whole property is like fucking surrounded. And this war is not over, people. It's just getting started. Fade to black. Boom, you leave it open for a sequel if you want. Or, you assume they die. What happens. A lot of ways you can take it. But it makes way more fucking sense than some goddamn aliens using their super technology to invade a planet that is 2/3 water when they're allergic to goddamn water.
Do Scientologists believe in aliens?
Oh, yeah. That's a big part of their thing.
Do you think?
Because
Tom Cruise was so
the guy that wrote
excited to
Scientology was a sci-fi writer. So that's how he became a thing. He was a science fiction writer who then wrote Scientology. So,
I wonder if
it's like Steven Spielberg wrote the Bible.
I wonder if Tom Cruise was like super passionate throughout this project, and he was like, guys, like, you don't understand, this is real life. Okay, Tommy boy. Okay, we believe you.
That's why he was so good in that. He's like, this is how my ancestors came to be.
Maybe. I believe in
You
aliens.
see-
We learned about aliens in astronomy class. I actually took
Yeah.
astronomy in college because I thought it was astrology. I thought it was the same thing. It's not.
He just wanted to learn about his sign.
Well,
So you walked in the first day. So I'm an Aquarius. What does that say about me? Professor, what?
I learned that the reason why there's life on Earth is because the Earth is far away enough from the sun that there is liquid water. If it's too close to the sun, it evaporates. If it's too far from the sun, it's too cold, it's ice. But because we have liquid water, then that's like the basis for life. And every star in the sky is a sun to another galaxy. So if there are planets that are in this like habitable zone around their sun, then of course there's
Which there
life there
are.
too.
Yeah, they found galaxies and planets that are similar enough to Earth where they theorize that there would be life. And even in Mars, they find microbes, which is big, just to show that maybe at one point there was life there, you know. But the point that the issue is getting there. You know, it's still too far away for our technology, at least. But I definitely think the universe is huge. There's no way we're the only fucking planet with life. I don't know if it's like people, you know, like some aliens like sending their podcasts out into the world right now. But you know, there's definitely some shit out there, and that's for sure. There can't not be. You know, it's stupid to think that we'd be the only intelligent life. You know, it's stupid. Like, come on. So, but I don't. Here's the thing: with our lack of technology, I don't necessarily want them to find us. It's in the history of anything, and you can look at colonialism as this. It's never good when a much more advanced set of people find a group of way less advanced sort of people, especially when they have resources that said advanced people want. So I'd rather them not find us. I'm good with with it remaining a theory right now, at least until we get some laser guns up in this bitch. You know, pew pew. Then you can bring the aliens. That's cool. But fuck that.
Well, my next movie isn't about aliens. In fact, it's a Disney cartoon and it's entitled The Fox and the Hound.
Oh, classic.
Have you seen
I
this?
love that movie. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Well, I think it sends a bad message for kids. I just because at the end, ultimately, Todd the fox and Copper the hound, who originally were the best of friends, they grew to be mortal enemies because hounds hunt foxes. And at the end of the movie, they like fight off a bear and then they go their separate ways. But I think that
Yeah.
they should a better ending would maybe to be like run away together so they can be friends or find a way to coexist on the same farm. I think it tells the youth that you can't overcome differences, and I think it perpetuates maybe, I don't know, ideas of segregation. I don't know, I just think that
Well, see, this is what they need to do. They need to get together, the foxes and the hounds, and kill the humans in the farm. Those are the bastards that are making the fight. Overtake the evil human overlord here. Make that farm yours, fox and hound here. Kill those motherfuckers.
I
And
just
then it
think
can be
there's such an
yours. And you can be
innocence when
friends.
people are young. And I think that the intended audience is young little kiddos, and they should be taught that you can be friends with people that come from different backgrounds and have different life aspirations and different cultures. So you can still coexist and be friends. So I think this just gives a bad message.
Totally. At least they showed the coexisting part and working together by killing the bird. But I agree. I don't think they should have gone their separate ways. I think they should have, you know, it's a fucking cartoon, made them stay friends or leave, walk away together, you know what I mean? And then like their group introduces the foxes introduce themselves to the dogs, and you know, they stop because the whole thing is foxes going to the farms to kill animals. So I assume that they stopped doing that, and then the dogs stopped killing them. Yeah, you could have had a sweet ending. I agree. I agree. Well, I'm gonna take you now on to
I'm looking to see when it was written. It's a 1981 American animated buddy drama
oh,
film.
1981. I thought it was much older.
Oh my god, me
Wow.
too.
Ugh. That's crazy. That yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm with you. That ending maybe wasn't well thought out for the '80s. I feel like they would have been that thought seemed like an ending from like the '50s to me. You know, when Peter Pan and shit was written, and they used the super red paint for the Native Americans and the big lips. Ow.
Horrible.
But anyways, this next one is another movie that is a thriller, kind of a horror thriller, if you will, with the one and only John Cusack, and it's got a bunch of other people in the movie. I just can't remember the actors right now, but it's called Identity, and this whole movie takes place in like a motel. It's got Alfred Molina, Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet, a bunch of people. But anywho, basically, a bunch of people are stuck in like a terrible storm at this hotel, including like a police transport of this terrible serial killer. And of course, they secure the serial killer somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, he'll be all right. He's tied up." Eventually, the killer gets away, and surprise, surprise, people start, disappearing and being found dead. Well, again, this movie came out like maybe like 17 years ago, so it's not a spoiler at this point. It turns out that the killer is actually a multiple personality disorder patient, and he is crazy. He like kills people for real life. But what we're seeing in the movie, the motel and all that shit, is not real. It's all happening in his head because it's all the personalities that he has in his head. And they're basically like one of them is killing them all off. The evil personality is killing off all the other ones. And all his other personalities are like one of them is a cop, one of them is a kid, one of them is a nice lady. Some of them are good. So basically, they kind of convince one of the personalities what is going on is in his head, and so he realizes he needs to kill the evil personality, so he gets to be the one that remains, and the guy isn't so evil anymore. And basically, and then they start killing each other, and I don't want to spoil the ending. The ending itself is pretty good.
You can spoil the ending,
but it's
Spoiler
one
alert,
of them
guys.
survives, and it turns out that the evil one stays, but the evil one isn't who you think it is. It's not the killer. It's not like the serial killer. It's someone else in the thing. But to me, while it was cool, a cool reveal, and then the ending itself is like, oh wow, this is kind of dope because the killer ends up getting out type thing. I think it's kind of a dumb plot twist because all the characters that we were ingrained with and liked turn out they're not real. They're just in his head. So at the end of the day, if one of them survives and you look at the killer, it's like a fat old bald guy. So he's not John Cusack. He's not Amanda Peet. Like if they survive, they're just going to be this weirdo. So I would have gotten rid of all that plot twist that has been his head and let it all be real. Mm-hmm. And then I'd have the killer win in the end and start a life anew as like the attendant of the motel they were stuck in, because it's like one of these like Norman Bates types of hotel, like the Psycho Hotel in the middle of fucking nowhere, where if this guy just took over the receptionist job, no one would fucking notice. And then I would have him live his life out like a Norman Bates type style thing. Someone goes to check in and he's like, oh, I'll take care of you. And then they pan up and it's the serial killer. And the movie ends with him like doing a fucking evil ass smile as you fade to black to show that he's still out there and he's killing. When you make things that it's like in someone's head, it's like, then why should we care anymore? This is all happening in his brain. Like, and he's like an evil killer. So it's like, who cares what personality this guy should be put to death? Like what? Like the whole thing was that he like murdered like 13 kids. Like, I don't want any of these personalities to win. I want this man fucking put away. Like what? So that's just me.
I've never seen it. And I don't think I want to now.
It is a good movie. Yeah, now no point now. Sorry.
Well,
that's how I would have fixed it.
I got another really good movie. It's just, I was like, oh. You ever heard of Thelma and Louise?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
have I ever? That's a classic.
They drive off a cliff together and die.
Yeah.
But their
Women
intention,
drivers, am I right? Hey, I'm just
their intention was to drive to Mexico. Why couldn't they just flee to Mexico?
yeah.
They were so
I mean,
close.
I mean, that would be the thing. Like, I would have had them right. You either they drive off the cliff somehow, and everybody thinks they're dead, but then it turns out that they like jumped off or something out of the car to the side or something right before they went off. So even the cars blow up and shit, they assume they're dead. Uh, Skygo, I don't know. They figured out a nook where you could jump into safely before that they went on this speed chase because they're smart women. They put maybe they were in that last straightaway. They had dummies that they secured in the front seat when they jumped out. I don't know. They would have figured out a way to get out of this car while still making everyone believe that the car drove off the cliff and boom, and no need to fucking keep investigating this. These ladies are dead. And then you can even roll some credits for a little bit, unroll the credits, and then you see them. One of them is like on the phone, like or at a bar somewhere in Mexico, and there's beautiful sandy beach, and looks over at the other one. It's like, hey, I'm getting a drink. You want one? And it's like, yeah. And then
Yeah,
I'll
I agree
take
with
two,
all that.
whatever.
I agree with all that.
Bam. And fade to black again. They got away with it.
And maybe they
Yes.
went off to Mexico, and maybe Brad Pitt met them there because this was Brad Pitt's big debut.
Yes, that could be Brad Pitt sitting there with the other one, or even Brad Pitt's the bartender. Who knows? But yeah, it could have been. I agree. That ending was like, I mean, sure, it was badass and rebellious of them, to go out like that. Very boss. But I think it would have been cooler if they get away with it.
It's not really a good ending for mental health awareness.
No,
So
sure, do what you want and
I feel
commit
like
suicide.
give therapy a chance. Because the one character, something really horrible happened to her that they alluded to throughout the movie in Texas, but they wouldn't talk about what. That's why they couldn't drive through Texas. They went through New Mexico.
Right.
And my assumption is that it's probably sexual assault. And the answer to sexual assault, in fact, is not to drive off a cliff, is to battle your demons in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
I look back on this movie, I'm like, ugh, I don't know if that was a good idea.
Yeah, but when did that movie come out, though? I feel like at the time. I feel like mental
80s?
health has been a priority. 1991. Let's see.
91? Yikes.
But mental health has really been like a 2000 thing. And even not an early 2000 things. I think it's been like a 2012 and up, maybe 2013 and up. I feel like it's been like the last 10 years where people have prioritized their mental health and learned to actually give a fuck about it so they don't go crazy. In the 90s, it was still like, oh, boys don't cry, you know? But Dad, I saw you cry yesterday. Well, that's because your mother left me. Oh, it's not the same. Damn you, Jeffrey. Yeah, it was a different time. So, they thought maybe suicide was cool, but suicide is never cool, people.
I cried during
that
Fox
bad.
and the Hound as a kid.
Ooh, well, that's because.
And
Simo was
Homeward
a
Bound
youth.
made me cry.
Well, Homeward Bound definitely make you cry.
I
Especially
thought
that.
Shadow died. And
Yeah, that was a good fake out ending.
Ghost was the first movie to make me cry.
Patrick Swayze Ghost?
Yeah.
Really? when he first dies, or when he like leaves into heaven?
At the very end, when he shows Demi Moore, he's like glowing, and she sees him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the last time she's gonna see him. And then after that, she has to move on.
She's so beautiful. And that was a prime Patrick Swayze too. Dirty Dancing, Roadhouse, Ghost. That is prime grade A meat.
Mhm.
That's when everybody wanted a little bit of Patrick. I always thought him and Kurt Russell were kind of similar in some ways, and I love them both. But yeah,
Rest
I'm
in
with you.
peace, Patrick's
Swayze.
Swayze. I was gonna say
Yes.
Schwasted. I'm gonna get Patrick Swasted tonight.
Oh yeah. He's another one. He passed to cancer and just the worst. So R.I.P. to a fucking legend.
Speaking of
Anywho,
legends, who's the star of your next movie?
it's Hilary Duff, and she is the queen. I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take it to a classic movie because we here at the Frat Chat Podcast believe in balance. I'm not gonna just show you a bunch of evil movies. No, I'm gonna take you to the Disney World as well, to the Lizzie McGuire movie, which some might say is a classic, and
It's
is
gay.
I can say is literally my girlfriend's favorite movie in the whole wide world. So at least she'll like this segment. But or maybe she won't because I'm about to butcher her movie. She loves this movie. But Lizzie McGuire, for those who don't know, basically goes to Europe, where it turns out that she looks exactly like Europe's biggest pop star. She has like different hair color. And the pop star eventually, ends up disappearing. Her like team decides to use Lizzie, and they do like the switching life thing that you've seen in other movies before. But eventually, they end up meeting, and Lizzie gets to end the movie by doing an epic concert along with the pop star. They're like side to side, and even though they've never rehearsed this together whatsoever, this is like the first time Lizzie McGuire is actually like performing live on a stage. They get up side to side, and Lizzie is fucking amazing with the pop star, and it's just like everybody's fantasy. And then she kisses Gordo, and the movie ends. And I know this is a children's movie. I know this is the ending that will send those little girls home happy, but that's not a realistic ending, people. That is an ending that's going to make your kids stand up and sing and look pretty fucking dumb. Believe me, most people can't sing. So, my ending would be the realistic outcome of this concert, which is that the autotune would not be turned on for Lizzie because they have no idea that this performance is about to happen. And that takes time to set up on the audio side. So Lizzie would sound like shit while the pop star would sound awesome, and the crowd would just start booing her like, "Boo, Lizzie, you suck!" And she's like standing there like frozen, like ah. And as the movie fades to black, you see a single stream of poop going down her leg.
Not the poop.
And boom, fade to black. Because being a pop star is not easy.
She has a song that's like, "Let the rain fall down and wake my dreams." You could use poop instead of rain. Let the poop fall down, wake my dreams.
He wants the
Wash
rain to come to wash away the
my
poop.
sanity, 'cause I wanna feel the thunder, I want to
Oh
scream.
man, too good. So that would be my ending. Singing's not easy, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just get up and do it. It's like you can't just get up and do comedy all of a sudden if you've never done it. So this is the same principle. Lizzie didn't even do a voice warm up. She's got up there and killed it. Get out of here.
Don't
Get
make
out
me
of
sing.
here.
Don't make me sing. Hit it.
Exactly. She pulled out the microphone like Ron Burgundy pulling out the flute.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for
And Hilary Duff really was like the it girl for a long time.
I know. I still have such a crush on her too, even though she's like married with like 9 kids. She is beautiful. She looks exactly the same as
She strikes me as a typical white girl that probably gets like white girl wasted at the bar and is obnoxious as fuck. I feel like she will walk into a bar and be like, "Can you charge my cell phone?" That's the first thing she's gonna say. What are we having, ladies? Can you charge my cell phone?
Yeah,
She's gonna say,
I love.
"Are the buffalo wings like spicy, spicy?"
What do you like? What do you like? What's good around here?
Yeah, she's that type.
Now they were supposed to bring back the Lizzie McGuire show, and it was like very close. And then they had a fallout, and I'm not
Oh,
happy. So
really?
I hope they still do, because I would totally watch a grown-up Lizzie McGuire show.
They brought back
Uh,
That's So Raven.
yep, I think the issue apparently was that Lizzie McGuire or Lizzie McGuire,
Hilary Duff.
Hillary Duff wanted to make it a little more grown up because obviously it's a kid show, but like she wanted to deal with more grown up topics while keeping it within the same realm and type of humor. And they were like, no, it needs to
What
be
grown-up
exactly.
topics could Hilary Duff possibly talk about? Like, what to happen if you have a botched manicure? How to deal with a manicurist?
She was in this show younger, actually,
Oh, she was
which
actually
is a
pretty good in
good
it.
one. Yeah, so I feel like she could do it. I feel like if you put her in that type of character as younger, but obviously as Lizzie McGuire, and just they could have done it. They could have figured it out, but Disney was too scared to. And well, now they're approved an R rating for Deadpool and Wolverine, which Disney said they never do. I hope they look back on things like Lizzie McGuire and realize it's stupid. They can go a little more PG-13 on it and still be
Yeah,
fine.
show me her tits.
Yeah, Lizzie. She's a stripper just getting by. Woo! You go, Lizzie.
She's a classically
Anyway,
trained dancer, but to make ends meet, she's using her dance skills provocatively. Okay,
what else?
so my next movie is a classic starring the one and only Johnny Depp back in the day, and this movie is called Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And
It's a
Winona
good one.
Ryder's in it. Oh, she's beautiful in it. And he um uh pretty much joins his family, a little misunderstood. He's giving incredible haircuts. He's like cutting shrubs and making ice sculptures, so like a champ. But he's just misunderstood. And so uh at the very end, Winona Ryder's character is named Kim. So uh Edward Scissorhands goes back to the mansion of the like inventor, and he's chased by the bad guy, and the antagonist was like fighting Edward. Edward's like, I'm not gonna fight you, I'm not gonna fight you, until the antagonist pushes aside Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder tries to intervene, and this bad guy pushes her. And as soon as he puts his hands on Winona Ryder, Edward Scissorhands shoves him. I think he stabs him and then shoves
Yep,
him out the window. Right? Is that what happens?
yep.
And then Winona Ryder goes downstairs to the mob of like the people in the neighborhood, and she says they're both dead, and that's it. And I felt like it was upsetting because Edward Scissorhands just really wanted to be accepted and to have some sort of companionship. And the end is sad because he lives the rest of his life alone in this mansion making all these like Winona Ryder themed ice sculptures. So
Yeah,
it wasn't a happy ending for him. And I know Winona Ryder's character, Kim, she wasn't happy either. I feel like a better ending would be if they ran off together or they lived at the inventor's mansion together, just the two of them, or if somehow they were able to find a surgeon to give him actual hands instead of those scissor hands. I don't know. I think that they could have done something just to make this a little bit more upbeat. Um,
totally. Or like it somehow gets revealed to the mob that the antagonist, was an ass fuck, and then they let Edward go after he saves Winona Ryder's life. It's like you can do a quick cut to 5 years later, and Edward's hands now everybody loves him. He's got now his actual business of cutting people's hairs, and it's thriving, and everybody loves him. And there's a line out the door, and they're happy together.
totally.
Like you could
And
have done
I think
so much.
I think at the very end, Winona Ryder's character is like older, and she's saying like, I didn't want him to see me old. I wanted him to always remember me as young Winona Ryder. Uh, I just thought that it wasn't enough. Nope.
Back when I was before she robbed things.
Before I know she'll never live that down. She will always be a menace.
And I love Winona Ryder too, but it is I can't not think about it. It's just and as comedians, you can't not make fun of it. Come on. But yeah, that's like weird. It's like, well, I will never look better than this. So see ya. Like what?
Mhm.
That's fucking odd. And yeah, now he lives like a life of a recluse. Like he's gonna go insane and hang himself. Clearly, like what do you? And he probably can't even do that because of the scissor thing. So he's gonna have to like stab his face with his scissor hands or something.
Yeah,
This
so
is not a good
sad.
ending. Yeah, very depressing. Very, very depressing. But what's his face? The director of that movie.
Tim Burton?
Tim Burton. He likes to make shit sad, so it makes sense that it went that way. But it's so crazy. Also, it's so crazy that that's Johnny Depp. You know, he's so goddamn handsome, especially back then.
I
And
know those cheekbones could cut glass. I didn't buy mine.
good lord, it's crazy. But what a good movie! Yeah, I would. That's the one thing I would have also changed. Make the ending less depressing. I'm with you. Okay, I got two left. You got one left. My next one, I'm gonna take you back in time to one of the saddest endings of all time. This movie was a book first, but then they made a movie back in the day, and it's Old Yeller. Ruff, ruff. Everybody knows Old
This is
Yeller.
a sad movie.
Old lab, very cute lab, great story. But then in the end, Old Yeller gets rabies, and they fucking get shot.
Hmm.
That's how he dies. Have to put him down the back of the farm. It's so depressing. I don't like that. I personally don't like that. In my version of the movie, Old Yeller is walking back, right? He's starting to like twitch a little bit. And then he sees them put the gun up to him, and he goes, "No!" And then they fucking wrestle the gun away and turns into like this Cujo type thing and goes on a rampage, killing everyone. Then you see him trotting down the street, and then it turns out that they use Old Yeller's DNA to make a new dog that they'll replace him with in the farm, and they're going to call that dog Cujo, and it fades to black. And now your beautiful, sad story turned into the most badass endings of all time, and it set up a sequel that will also make millions about a scary dog and make that movie make sense. Killing two birds or dogs with one stone. Yeah. Don't come at me, PETA. I like dogs. Where's Stella, speaking of which? Anyways.
Where's my dog? Hope he's not playing with a raccoon at the moment.
It's not chewing on that knife. But yeah, I don't want Old Yeller to die. In all seriousness, like, fuck. Like, maybe he gets bit and he gets hurt, but like you can do like the Homeward Bound ending where you think he's dead, but it turns out he's just really wounded. And then he turns out to be fine. You see him later, barking off. Old Yeller, ruff, ruff.
You know,
There's no need for him to fucking die.
there was an episode of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman where the dog, I think the dog's name was Pup or something. The dog got rabies and they had to put the dog down. And I thought to myself, we've seen this before.
Oh, yeah. And I barked and my dog actually showed up, so that means she still likes me, guys. She still likes me. But yeah, that's exactly the same thing. Like, what? Isn't that cool? I don't see that shit. Especially because in some ways, like dog deaths to me are sadder than people deaths. You know what I mean? Like John Wick, everybody watches the first movie and everybody sees the fucking mobsters kills the dog and they're like, "Oh, I get it." Like I
Oh,
get why Keanu Reeves goes on this
that is
rampage. And
such
you're
an
like,
intense moment.
Yeah, and after that, everything that Keanu Reeves does, no matter how fucked up it is to these people, is justified. And you're like, yeah, get him, Keanu, break his goddamn dick. Break his dick. Grab his dick and twist it, Keanu.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't want to see a dog die. So, Old Yeller, you don't have to do us like that. Especially that movie. That's another one that's made for kids. Like a family. That's like a family movie that you watch with your goddamn kids on like a Sunday night before, an early school night or something. It's like, that is not what you do to people, Old Yeller. So, that's me. Anyways, we each got one left.
I have one left.
What you got?
And this one isn't like super significant. It's just I always wondered about this. Okay, so in the movie Grease, at the end,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, you're the one that I want. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba, ba, ba. That one, So Sandy, Olivia Newton-John, and Danny, who's John Travolta, lead the way with their little sing and dance number. And then they get in the car and they don't just drive off the sunset, they fly into the sunset. And I always thought to myself, there was never a supernatural moment in this movie. There's a dream sequence, but no supernatural stuff. It just came out of nowhere. And I was like, the car flies? So maybe an alternate ending would be the car doesn't fly.
Yeah, that didn't need to be a thing. Like maybe they were just drunk, right? And they were like, they actually just drove off a cliff, like Thelma and Louise.
Maybe.
It was too sad to show teenage drinking deaths at this point.
I thought it's so weird. Why would they do that? It's out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they were just trying to be cool and like, but I'm still going with, James Dean died in a car accident and he was like the cool, rebellious punk that this movie's based on. So I'm going to go with that. They actually died.
They had a really big car race, like I guess we call it a drag race.
Yep.
And I thought, why didn't you use the supernatural abilities during that?
Yeah, if your car could fly, jackass, maybe he was just very honorable.
Oh my gosh, I just don't understand. I think about that a lot, actually. Like, why they fly away?
Simo has notes and notes and notes in his apartment, all across his wall. Why?
Why?
Pictures of John Travolta.
All or nothing. John Travolta, keep touching your masseuse, you fucking weirdo. I know that you're behind this.
Yeah, that does make zero sense. Why would they do that? I mean, sure, it's like the most literal definition of a happy ending. They fly away, but there's a lot of questions that come up after the fact. Like, how do they land this car? Where are they going? They're going straight up. Can they, are they going to be able to breathe if you go high enough?
And the car doesn't have wings.
Yeah, how is this car actually flying? How are they controlling it in the sky? And how are they going to land it? That's just, it's a lot of questions.
Though, when they made
it was a convertible too, so they could just fucking fly right out. Didn't look like they secured their seatbelts fast enough too. That's just me.
When was this movie made? Let's see. Greece is not spelled like the country, right?
No, it's like grease, like car grease, like a greaser.
It was made in 1978. Okay, in 1978, I think there's a lot of like recreational drug use in like the club scene. So maybe the producers were all on drugs. I don't know. By the end, when they were like, "This is a wrap. Let's just do something crazy because we're all crazy on drugs." I don't know.
Or maybe the writer's room is just sitting around. They're all like smoking cigarettes at 3 a.m. God damn it! How do we fucking end this thing? We tried everything. Some guy just walks in, like smoking a joint. Like, what if they just fly away in a car? And they all look around at each other, like, Steve, that is the greatest idea I've ever heard. Just fly away in a car. Somebody promote that man, and then boom. That's
yeah.
This is ridiculous. That's the only way I can see that movie happening. They were just stuck. Someone just say, "Fuck it, have him fly away in a flying car." and boom. That's how a lot of projects seem to end. But I'm with you. That was stupid. Just stick to the road, John
I
Travolta. Even
know.
though he is a pilot, though, so at least he was qualified.
That's true. Well, at least he was
But
we know he
anywho,
was a pilot in Look Who's Talking. That was his job.
that's true. Maybe that's what inspired him to actually fly planes. But he does have a pilot license. He actually flies planes in real life. And okay, on to my last one.
Your last one's the best one.
Yeah, if they would have had planes here, maybe the ending would have been a lot different. But this is a classic one, and it's the movie that made Leo from someone you saw in like the Growing Pains here and there, little kid actor.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yeah, that's right. He's like, oh man, that kid's good. To like a fucking megastar, but every guy wanted to be him and have a stupid haircut. Every girl wanted to bang him. Everything in between. Everybody loved Leo. He became like the Beatles all in one guy. It was fucking crazy. And of course, I'm talking about Titanic, directed by the one and only James Cameron. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a good one. It's a great movie, but it has one part that's widely debated. One part that still grinds everybody's fucking gears. And this is the ending when the ship goes down after hitting the iceberg. And everybody's floating in the water. Jack helps Rose onto this floating bed frame that looked like it was from at least a queen-size bed, but probably a king, given that it was a first-class bed. And then, rather than her rolling over and putting him on top of it, they try once, and then that's it. They give up. She just stays on there, and he stays like half his body in the water, like talking to her. And then when help comes, and she's finally able to get out, he's dead. And then she dibs I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go.
Yeah, but she did.
And then she like immediately lets go and,
Yeah,
and
I
goes
think
to
about
swim.
this too sometimes. There's been a lot of research about this, and people are like, you don't understand, like that piece of wood wouldn't have held the weight of two people. You don't know, you weren't there.
And
Anything's
here's the thing.
possible in the movies.
And James Cameron himself tried to disprove the theory that they both couldn't fit on there and paid. This is a true story. Paid for out of pocket to do this test of could both of them fit on there. And he hired two actors that were the same height and weight as them and put them both on the bed thing, and they floated. It worked. They could have totally done it. So in my ending, rather than Rose hogging the fucking floating bed frame, Jack dying, and then the old lady dying at the end of the movie, dropping the jewel in the ocean. That's the reason this whole like multi-million-dollar expedition is being launched. And then us realizing that she is there with her daughter, who is not Jack's daughter, which means some poor sucker who died already is waiting for this chick in heaven while she's still thinking of Leo in 1912. In my ending, I change it to where the Titanic goes down and Rose moves her ass over and Leo and then fucking share the bedboard and survive. And then they end up together forever. Truly ending the horrible interclass marriage or realizing the horrible reality of an interclass marriage in the 1910s, where Rose would realize she made a huge mistake. It's like, oh shit, I was rich. Now I have to live with this broke guy who gambles for a living, essentially. And then his looks will start to go as he drinks more, and then her looks will start to go, and then she'll become bitter and angry and shit. So by the time they interview them later on in the Titanic, they're both like 96 years old and decrepit, and they just like insult each other back and forth, but that's like their love language, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're both sitting there like rocking, and Leo's just bald and hideous, and somehow he's like 103 and like smokes cigars and spits tobacco all day. And then she says, "Oh, I should have stayed with Billy Zane."
Yeah.
She's not the sweet old lady anymore. Life has been very unkind to her.
Like they would have pet ferrets.
That's right. They sell ferret skins. And she's actually going on the expedition to find the goddamn thing so she can make money and leave.
I always thought, what if she got pregnant from Jack?
Yeah, that would have been even better. So at least you can keep his legacy alive, you know, gets pregnant and it's a boy or whatever, a girl, or it's a boy and then she names him Jack. And that's
I'm going to name you Jack, the best fuck ever had in the back of a car.
The best one night stand ever. Hello. Anywho,
That's our list.
That's our list, ladies and gentlemen. So let us know what you thought of our endings. Did you like them? Did you love them? How much did you love them? Tell us why. Are there any movies yourself that you would change the ending to? Give us a follow on all social channels and let us know. Or shoot us an email at fratchatpodcast at gmail.com. But you can give us a follow at Frat Chat Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Threads, on YouTube. You can also give me a follow as well. Check out my website, carlosgarciacomedy.com. You can check out show dates. You can even link up to all my socials, which I'll tell you shortly, and see what the hell I'm going to be doing in the next few months. You can also give me a follow at Carlos Does the World on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Threads, on YouTube, and Carlos Does World on Twitter/X. And you can follow my good buddy Simo over here at chris.more.comedy on Instagram and TikTok, and see more comedy on Twitter/X. Oh yeah. So Mr. Mo, it's time to roll. So won't you get his out of here?
I motion to adjourn so I can see you again.
And I second. I'm going to enjoy his pee so much. All right, you guys. Now that I see the urine dripping down his leg, we'll see you next week with another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts in time. It's the Frat Chat Podcast. See ya.
Ciao.